Well, hey parents, this is Jeff, and I'm here with this week's Continue the Journey activity. And these activities, of course, are designed to help you as you help your child at home on their journey to find and follow Jesus. And this activity is going to be called, you can write in that, and all you need for that is a Bible and a pen. Now, it's great to have your Bible. It's awesome if your kids have their Bible too. And, I've talked to parents and we've kind of wondered together, does my child need a kind of an archaic, like bound with papers kind of Bible? Or in the 21st century, I can find a Bible on all kinds of apps and just on Google, on my computer and stuff like that. Is that good for my kid? Now listen, there's no right or wrong answer to this. As long as your kid has access to the words in the Bible, then digital, paper, whatever works for you is good. I'd like the paper, and I would encourage that, in part because this is really accessible for kids. They can't always access your tablet. They can't always access technology in your house. They can't always bring that technology with them where they're going. But they can always have access to this, and this is pretty portable. So my son likes to read this at bedtime. My daughter, when they have free reading time at school, will sometimes bring this with her in her backpack and read her Bible in her backpack, from her backpack. So I like kids having an access to a Bible, and they make all kinds of great children's Bibles out there. You can go to Amazon and you can find a gazillion of them. I always see them at Goodwill. When I take my kids to Goodwill and we go over to the book section, there's always like brand new children's Bibles there. We use a translation called the NLT, but that's really not important. You can get them any translation that you prefer. If you're like, well, I want to get them the same thing that they're doing at church, most often we're in the NLT. All right, back to the activity for this week. You can write in that. This is something strange, I think, for a lot of kids because we're told not to write in books. They're not allowed to write in their textbooks, their storybooks, and all. When I grew up Catholic, we were not allowed to even think of writing in the Bible. That would have been a lot of Hail Marys and Our Fathers for me if I had written in a Bible. But I think as I got older, as I learned to find Jesus and follow him, I realized that writing in the Bible is a great way to take some notes, to remember things, to find things later. So this week in the Daily Snack on YouTube, we're learning, we've been walking through the greatest story ever told. We're still right towards the beginning of it, and we're learning about this period kind of between Exodus and Joshua, where God consistently, repeatedly comes back and rescues his people, takes care of his people, gives them manna, gives them quail, gives them water from a rock, forgives them about a bazillion times for every time they disobey him. And we're learning that God takes care of his people. And one of the great passages that I remember in my life when I start feeling like maybe God isn't there with me, maybe he's not taking care of me, is found in the book of Joshua, right in chapter 1, starting in verse 1. And so your activity this week is to grab a Bible, grab a pen, and read this the first 9 verses of this book with your kids, and then to challenge them to underline, or maybe they have a highlighter, maybe it's a highlighter, highlight every time that God promises to be with Joshua, to not abandon Joshua, and encourages Joshua to be strong and courageous. Be strong, courageous, I'm with you, I won't abandon you. That message is all over that book. In fact, I have this underlined in mine from a while ago. I'm going to hold that up. Hopefully you can see that on camera. And I've underlined lots and lots of lines where God says, I will be with you. I will not fail you. I will not abandon you. Be strong. Be courageous. Be strong. Be very courageous. Over and over he says this. If there's one thing that I want my kids to be able to kind of hang their hat on as they grow up, as they're on this journey to find and follow Jesus, it's that God is with them, that God won't abandon them, and they can be strong and courageous in life, strong and courageous in their faith. They can be obedient to God without fear of what people are going to say because God is with them and won't abandon them. And so this is a great passage for kids to read over and over again. I'm with you. I won't fail you. I won't abandon you. Be strong and courageous. And it really ties into our big point this week, that God takes care of his people. And you can talk about this passage. You can talk about what that looked in Joshua's life, what that would look like in the lives of your kids, to know that God is with them, that God won't abandon them, that God won't fail them. What does it look like for your kids to live lives that are strong and courageous lives? man, this is just so full of really, really good stuff. It's a simple passage. It's easy to read. There aren't big words. There aren't like names of weird tribes of people. Just a simple reminder that God is with them. God won't fail them or abandon them, and they can live strong and courageous lives because of that. So I hope you have a good time this week you can write in that. And I hope your kids, this really helps your kids on their journey to find and follow Jesus. Bye-bye, everybody.